Just recently, Land Rover released the all-new Defender. Land Rover revived the legend, and the legend is right next to me, guys. It's right here. It's called the Land Rover Defender, the wonderful legend everyone has been dreaming of. Now, I know what you all are thinking. This legend looks very much like its current generation Land Rover Discovery or a Range Rover. You know what, guys? Let me tell you all something. We are in 2021. We are in the 21st century. Of course, brands are going to evolve. Of course, they're going to abandon their old designs. But I tell you something. This Defender is special because it still has the identity, it still has the off-road capability, and it's right next to me, guys. I see it. When I first laid eyes on this, I instantly thought to myself, this is the Land Rover Defender of today's generation. This is no longer the 1970s, no longer the 1950s. This is the 2020s. Hello, everyone. By now, we are all aware of the Land Rover Defender. Everyone knows the Land Rover Defender. It's a legendary model. In fact, so legendary, it's probably one of the most niche model that has ever existed in the automotive industry. It's like the Volkswagen Transporter, the hippie vans, the good old 70s, and also like the Citroën 2 chevaux, and also like the Volkswagen Beetle. Over here is the Land Rover Defender. The legend lives on. I'm going to tell you all a small story about Land Rover. I'm not going to talk about the start, but we all are aware by now that the earliest models of the Land Rover was the Land Rover Defender, and then also you had the Range Rover, which was basically, you see, initially, Range Rover was a good off-roader. It was a solid off-roader, actually. And to this day, it still is, because it still has the capabilities. However, there's a very big difference between its first generation and current generation. The earliest Land Rover models were true off-roaders that were built for the British countryside. The harsh countrysides, where it was beautiful farms, the beautiful British scenery. Throughout the 2010s, everything started differentiating for the Land Rover and the Range Rover brand. In fact, Range Rover started going into the luxury side, whereas Land Rover stayed in the off-road capability side. However, that can be, you see, Land Rover had some models like the Discovery, which became more premium as years progressed. More expensive, more premium, but they sold like hotcakes nonetheless. That's right, guys. You heard it. It's right next to me, the Land Rover Defender, the model we have all been waiting for, the model we've all been eager to hear from. You know what, guys? I'm very happy. I am very impressed. I am absolutely stunned. I really, really am happy. You know why? Because this is going to bring massive inspiration in the automotive industry. Many brands have to revive their niche, have to bring up something they were once renowned for doing. Yes, I know just what you all are thinking, that Land Rover has gone a bit on the premium side with the Defender. But, I mean, it's expected, isn't it? At least I thought that. I was thinking to myself, this was expected. I'm going to tell you all something, another thing. The culture of off-roading is coming to an end here in the EU market. In the EU market, year by year, 4x4s are starting to sell in small numbers. The only types of 4x4s that sell like hotcakes are those that are road friendly and environmental friendly. Believe it or not, guys, this Land Rover Defender is actually environmental friendly compared to its previous generation. And besides, who really goes off-roading? At least every time I see a 4x4 on the road, it's very hard for me to spot a speck of sand covering the bodyworks. At least that's what I see these days here on the roads of Belgium. And guys, if you think about it, the Land Rover Defender is a surviving legend when it comes to 4x4s, because there were many Japanese 4x4s that once dominated Belgian roads, like the Mitsubishi Pajero, the Toyota Land Cruiser, the Nissan Patrol. Oh, I love the Nissan Patrol, especially the Y62, which they sell in Australia. I remember that one, and also they sell in the Middle East and also in North America as the Nissan Armada, but they never sold it here in Belgium, at least that's what I know. because of environmental reasons, because of tax reasons. So in this sense, we are lucky, guys, that Land Rover has stayed loyal to our demands for a wonderful 4x4 that's road friendly, more eco-friendly, and it's right here next to me, guys. This Land Rover Defender is a very promising debut. It costs 59,000 euros. Is this good value for money or not? Let's get down with the review right now. You have the diesel engine, guys. Very essential for the Defender, especially when you go off-roading, when you need power to tow something, or simply when you go on a long road trip. Oh yes, the first thing you should think about when you hear a diesel engine is fuel economy when going on a road trip, guys. One of the best fuel economies you desire. And also, you do get a hydraulic strut for the bonnet. How amazing is that? So this is the front design of the Land Rover Defender, everyone. It looks stunning. I mean, it really has a strong identity. Now, the headlights really do remind me of the Land Rover Defender, especially if you look at the position of those two side lights. I think one of them is the indicator and one of them is the daytime running lights. At least that's what I remember of the old Defender, the last generation. Whereas here, they've still maintained those two lights. So that's good. That's the generation today, guys. I like how you get the black color over here right next to the lighting. It looks nice. It looks good. I like it. And then the front of the Defender is where things start to differentiate. It's sort of a reminder of the... Like, whenever I see the front of the Defender, it reminds me a little bit of the Freelander. It's quite nice, actually. Very good. Actually, it's interesting, but it's still good nonetheless, guys. You see what I'm coming at? It is modern. This is today's generation. And it's also not so 90 degrees straight, just like the old Defender. This has some aerodynamic aspects, and this is very important. Of course, everyone, Land Rover's identity. They always put their model names on the bonnet. It's right here, guys. Defender. Now, check this out, guys. Land Rover has gone as far as putting this onto the bonnet. This is supposed to be, I remember on the original Land Rover Defender, the last generation, it had, this was metallic, basically. Over here, guys, the second grille. Oh, yes, look at this. This is nice. This is an actual air vent, guys. The air flow goes there. And then over here, guys, check this out. And you even get your front camera right here. Very good. Interesting. I like that. Admire the side view of the Land Rover Defender. It's got very aerodynamic, and I absolutely love the design. Look at this round edge design right here. Very aerodynamic, which is very essential for today's generation. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Now this is lovely. Look at the bonnet as well. See, I'm very impressed with how Land Rover has managed to integrate the Defender with today's generation. The side view of the Land Rover Defender is very special because it ever so slightly reminds me of the Land Rover Discovery of 2000s. I'm not sure. I think it was the third generation Land Rover Discovery, I think, yeah. It really does, because if you look at the way the door is designed and everything, this is something Land Rover did with the Discovery back in those times. So it's interesting. Lovely alloy wheels, everyone. Now, those alloy wheels are very special. Look at them. So over here, you get this gray alloy, and on top it's silver, bright silver. Quite nice. Now, the presence of the hard plastic around the wheel is very good. It looks brilliant because it blends very well with the design. And actually, to be honest, when I first laid eyes on this Land Rover Defender, I did not notice this hard plastic there. And see, this is what I'm talking about. Land Rover has done a great job with this. And this is very important because in long terms, it saves a lot of money, especially it protects the body paint from mud, especially when you go off-roading. Check this out, guys. Look at what Land Rover has done on the side of this Defender. On the last generation Defender, many enthusiasts would basically attach things to the side of the Defender. So like when traveling to the Sahara or something, every time you see documentaries of Defenders, you will always see them holding heavy tools on the side or heavy bags or some extra spare wheel or something on the side and also as well as on the rear. So it's very interesting. Land Rover has integrated this design here. Now, the moment of truth, guys. We have to look at the rear of this Land Rover Defender. This is where all the Like, that's where most of the identity also lies. The rear is very important. Look at what they've done with those lighting. It looks exactly like the Land Rover Defender we all know. This is the grandson of the Defender, guys. Look at this. Just look at this. Admire how they've done the lighting. I personally love it. This is supposed to... I think they both are... I'm not sure, guys. Because I know one of them is supposed to be your indicators, or I think both of them are the ones over here. And I know somewhere around you have your reverse lights. Very, very good. I'm impressed. And over here, this is your handle, spare tire on the back, traditional for a 4x4. Very decent. And also, another thing to note is this design right here. Do you see this design? This is very traditional with the Defender. This is called identity. I've seen this all the time with the Land Rover Defender. In fact, I vividly remember seeing this design on the Land Rover Discovery, the first and second generation. But then on the third generation, Land Rover abandoned that design. They kind of went with the double doors at the rear of the Discovery. But the Defender always stuck to one design. Defender, you get this bright silver bumper. Looks very, very cool. I like it, guys. It's very nice. And see, it just makes it look metallic. It makes it look very bold, ready to take on some challenges. So over here is your side view mirror, guys. I don't know about you all, but this has to be one of the largest side view mirrors I've ever seen. I mean, look at this. This is my hand. And this side view mirror is huge. I love it, guys. So over here, on the side view mirror, you get this black color theme going on. And just underneath it, you get a camera. So this is direct proof that this Land Rover Defender has a 360-degree camera. Very decent. And yeah, very good, very good. I'm assuming this is your side indicator. Now, guys, I have to say the Defender was very impressive. I love it. But whilst exploring the exterior of the Defender, I noticed aspects that were a bit questionable. The first questionable aspect I would like to point out is the grille, the front, was absolutely stunning. But the first grille over here is not an air intake. It's just, if you look underneath the grille, it's just plastic. The design over here looks amazing. I like it from a distance. But as you look closely, I just try to wonder what was the purpose of this bit of the bumper. It's as if there was an extra option intended. I'm not really certain, guys, but yeah. Another questionable aspect I would like to point out is that on this side of the Land Rover, you get this grille over here that I'm assuming is supposed to be your snorkel. Very important for when you're off-roading, by the way. This is not the questionable part. The questionable part I would like to point out is that it's present on this side. Okay, that's very good. But for some reason, on the other side, you get what looks like an imitation of a grill, but it doesn't seem to have any air intake whatsoever. See, there's just no air intake. So in terms of aesthetics, I can see what the Defender what they were trying to do with the Defender. But I don't see any air intake from this side. Another questionable aspect I would like to point out is that the side view of the Defender is absolutely stunning. I love it. But I've just noticed that this is the rear passenger seat. For some reason, Land Rover puts the body paint right here in the middle of the window. So like not too close to the B pillar, not too close to the C pillar. They put it right in between both pillars. And this obstructs the view of the rear passengers. I forgot to mention, guys, this Land Rover Defender is the short wheelbase version, which was very popular. Now let's get down to talking about the interior of the Land Rover Defender. Before we go to the interior of this Land Rover Defender, I want to point out something very interesting, guys. Listen very carefully to the sound the door makes when you open and close it. It sounds, the sound of the door latch, like just the way it sounds when you close the door and open it, it sounds very much like the original Land Rover Defender, guys. This is very nostalgic. I like it. It's interesting, but except I remember one thing, and that is on the original Defender, I don't know if this was intentional or not, but every time you'd open the door like past this point, there would always be some noise coming from there. Now I don't know if this was a design flaw or if this was genuine, like if this was, you know, part of the design. and that sound would because there would always be a sound coming from there. But on this Defender, for obvious reasons, you don't hear that sound, and that's very good. It's very pleasant. But when you close the door, it makes the exact same sound like the original Defender, guys. That's the sound I'm talking about. So this is the interior of the Land Rover Defender, guys, and I absolutely love it. Oh my goodness, it looks so nostalgic, guys. I love it. Look at this. You know, this is wonderful. This interior is so spacious. Who said you need a minivan if you want a spacious interior? This has to be one of the first times I've ever seen a 4x4 with this much space in the interior. Like literally, guys. This is my leg, and everything is like literally 1 kilometer away from my leg. Like literally. I have like so much space. I've never had this much space before in a full-sized 4x4. Like, because most of them tend to have compact interiors, like everything's at your reach, you know, like in the Nissan Navara, which is basically a pickup truck, in the Jeep Wrangler, and so. And I like how, what Land Rover has done with the Defender right here. Check this out, guys. This is very cool. I don't know if the original Defender had this, guys. I really don't know. But if you look very carefully, this is actual metal right here, guys. Over here, actual metal. Wow. Okay, Land Rover even puts the hood latch right here, guys. So there's no way you can accidentally open it with your feet. You have to pull it like this, and it's protected by this plastic over here. Very good. Oh yes, another Land Rover identity. Look at what you get onto the roof, guys. Look at that. You get an extra window right there. Now that is very nice, just right next to the LED lights. That's pleasant, and that was also present on the original Land Rover Defender. I also think the Land Rover Discovery had this. I'm not sure, but I think the first generation Discovery had this. The last generation Land Rover Defender had a very big problem with interior space, and that equally meant safety problems, safety issues. Whereas in the case of this Land Rover Defender, it is very refined. It is very good. Look at this. Everything is symmetrical. Everything is at your reach. Everything is practical. Like, look at this. I have a lot of room. Here, my arm has a lot of room. It's very comfortable, and I can lay my arm right here or onto the windowsill if I desire. And the windowsill is very, well, the material they use here is quite nice as well. Now, this material is very essential, especially for off-roading, because leather would be pleasant, but you see, when off-roading, you'll get into contact with mud or some sand, and so this is very easy to clean. You know, this material is very easy to clean and maintain. So that's why don't be surprised if you feel like for a price of 59,000 euros, the interior of this Defender is not very much on the luxury side, but it's as good as it has to be, and this is to prove that this is indeed a true off-roader that respects its heritage. Over here you get your 12-volt socket, USB connections, guys, and this is supposed to be a reminder of the old Land Rover Defender, guys. It looks just like it. Very cool. Quite nice. This over here is your infotainment system, everyone. How amazing is that? You get some little bit of storage right there, a little bit of storage right here, and you can hold on to this for when the off-roading ride gets bumpy. This over here is your glove box, everyone, and the size of this glove box is rather average, especially for a full-size 4x4 of this segment. Quite nice. Oh yes, the favorite part of the interior for me, guys. Check this out. Oh wow. Oh wow. Okay, guys, you actually get triple sun visors. Land Rover has been generous enough to give you a handle over here for the driver's seat. Especially even the driver should know that the ride will get bumpy when off-roading. That's very generous of Land Rover. You get extra storage right here. Very good. And over here is your mirror control, and also you get your window buttons right here. I really like this door handle, guys. It looks very nice. I like the shape, and also it's very easy to hold on to. This is your door handle to open the door. Over here is your center lock button, guys. Look at this. It's amazing. I like how Land Rover puts it there, and they've always done it. Like, I've noticed even on the Range Rover, they always put their lock button on this side or something. It's very nice. And over here you get some extra storage. Very good. Nice speaker right here. Over here you get your parking brake, guys, and there's some extra controls down there. I think those are lighting controls. Now let's just take a moment and admire the design of this steering wheel. It looks fabulous, guys. You know, when I see the steering wheel, it really does remind me of the Range Rover. It's just the shape over here, guys. It really reminds me of the Range Rover. But otherwise, everything about it is very Land Rover-ish. It's like it reminds me of the Defender, especially the hard plastic. Like it's okay, it's not hard plastic, but I don't know what material is this, but it's so good, guys. Look at this. I like it. Very good. And I like this leather wrapper on the steering wheel. Here's your start-stop button, guys. Very good. It's right next to the gear lever. But whilst exploring this interior, I also noticed some questionable aspects. And the first questionable aspect I would like to point out is that okay, first I want to clarify some things. In that Land Rover Defender, this Defender is a true off-roader. And Land Rover has kind of made it clear with this interior. If you've noticed, it's gone very practical as much as possible. So I mean hard plastic in most places. So that if ever this interior makes contact with mud, it's very easy to clean and maintain. Which is very good. Very good. I like this. But there's some things that could do, you know, like for example, this interior could do with an armrest. Like I see no armrest whatsoever, guys, and it's questionable. It's of selective taste. Some people don't need an armrest, some people do, and I think for a price of 59,000 euros, this could do with an armrest, but it's not a big deal. Now this center is very good. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like it could have done with a center storage or something, you know, it could have done with a center console storage, because all you get as a center console storage is just this bit of storage space right here, and then you get 2 cup holders of fixed sizes, and that's it. And then you get this also, which is very shallow. I wish I could know what I can store there, because it's too exposed and it's too, you know, shallow. And I'm assuming this is for when the driver wants to go to the passenger side. Oh, okay, I can understand. Like this was the case in the original Defender, but maybe it would have been more interesting if there was a, you know, like storage underneath this, you know, which opens and there's a deep storage. But it's not a big deal, guys. It's just something I was thinking about. Another thing I've also noticed is that you get this bit of trim here that has no purpose whatsoever. It's just part of the interior. That's all I can say. It doesn't open. It's just there. So yes, I think this could have done with some more storage spaces, but it shouldn't be a big deal. Another questionable aspect I've noticed is that for a price of 59,000 euros, you don't get electric seating adjustments. The only part that's electric is the rear support. Like this rear seat, this rear support is electric. And so, and you do get lumbar support, by the way, so that's a plus. But then when it comes to other adjustments, like moving it front and back, like over here, that is not electric. So again, as less electrics as possible, the more practical and the more reliable, which is very good, especially in the philosophy of the Defender. The original Defender was very mechanical. It was very much a do-it-yourself task when you had to repair something. And this should be the case with this Defender, and it seems like it to me, because there's very little... it seems as though they've tried to avoid using technology as much as possible. And that's very good, actually. There's much less... electronics, I'd say, not technology. I meant electronics, excuse me. Yes, guys, no leather seats. It's all fabric seats. Now, again, I'm going to tell you all something. This is, whether it's questionable or not, is very debatable, because this fabric seat is very useful when off-roading, especially when you get into contact with mud or sand or even water. It's very easy to clean, very easy to maintain, and it's better because if it was leather, it needs more work. Here's my conclusion about the Land Rover Defender. You see, guys, in today's generation, off-roading has been going to an end, guys, at least here in Belgium. And there are a couple of reasons why, but there's 2 primary reasons why, actually. Not just a couple of reasons, but I'm going to talk about 2 primary reasons. Environmental initiatives and safety reasons. Now, safety reasons means when the 4x4 is being used on public roads, not when the 4x4 is off-roading. When it's being used on public roads, okay? So when you're driving from A to B on public. Land Rover has been taking all these factors into consideration, and they've built this wonderful Defender. For a price of 59,000 euros, is this Land Rover Defender good value for money or not? You know what, guys? I think this Land Rover Defender is quite good value for money. It's not the very best, it's not the greatest, but it's still good, guys. I think it's very positive, and it does suit it because this Land Rover Defender is a niche. You're not buying this Land Rover Defender for ecologic reasons or economic reasons. You are buying this Land Rover Defender because of the fact that it's a niche, and it's got the status, and also it's got the history and heritage, guys. This is special. This is something unique. This is something that has an identity that's lasted for many decades. And so there you have it, guys. My conclusions. I think this Land Rover Defender is a very promising debut for Land Rover, and I think this is a very special news for the automotive industry. And I tell you why? Because Land Rover has done this. I think many car brands and car manufacturers will be encouraged to come up with their own niche. They'll be encouraged to revive something of their own. This will encourage car manufacturers to be more, to make cars that we can relate to make cars that are more interesting to drive from A to B, with a bit of style, with a bit of status, with a bit of passion, guys. Something we can drive with interest. We don't want boring eco boxes that drive from A to B. You want my opinion of this Land Rover Defender? I love this Land Rover Defender, guys. I really, really do. This Land Rover Defender has defended the fact that cars can have a niche. Cars of today can be built with character, something special, something we can all relate to, something with strong identity and passion. Now, when I see this Defender, I think of status, I think of heritage, you know, all this lengthy heritage has come from decades ago, guys. The Defender, and then all the way to the Land Rover series and everything. Very, very decent, very, very good, guys. I like it. The strong off-road capability, you know, it's very good. Yes, it's true. You know, it's not perfect. It's not. I never would say any car is perfect, anyways. But you know what? I think this is a very promising debut by Land Rover. It's a very promising competitor, and this hopefully will encourage many car manufacturers across the automotive industry to do something about their own models and to come up with their own niche. I kid you all not, sometimes having a 4x4 is very useful in the winter. I remember one time it was very cold outside. There was snow everywhere. Going up the hill was no chance. If you don't have a 4x4 transmission, you cannot climb up that hill. I saw many cars which were two-wheel drives, so whether they were front-wheel drives or rear-wheel drives, they had no chance of climbing up that snowy hill. But in my Nissan Navara, which had a 4x4 transmission to it, so I have a 4x4 transmission in my Nissan Navara, I climbed up that hill like knife through butter. It was so easy. And since that moment, I told myself, sometimes having a 4x4, even though you don't go off-roading, is as good, it's actually better than you think, you know? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And stay tuned for more videos that are on the run. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go off-roading with this Land Rover Defender. Bye.